What's up guys, this is Joe at Strictly Commerce. Welcome back to another video. Inside of this video, we're going to be going over the difference between online arbitrage versus the private label business models inside of Amazon FBA. So there's a ton of different content on YouTube, TikTok, all over the internet about the different Amazon FBA business models. We've touched before on the difference between wholesale and online arbitrage. We have a lot of comments on a lot of our TikToks as well as YouTube videos, people asking about Alibaba, shipping directly from your supplier to Amazon FBA, as well as buying from China, branding your own products, PPC, and all of that stuff kind of puts us in the thought process that people don't really know the difference between OA, online arbitrage, and private label. So disclaimer, I want to say right off the bat, although it might seem like private label is better, I do not recommend anybody start out with private label when you know nothing about Amazon FBA, but we'll touch more on that later. So what online arbitrage is purchasing products from online retailers to repackage and then resend to Amazon FBA to resell on Amazon.com. So with this model, you're selling name branded goods. It's really easy to start up with a very low barrier to entry. You can go out and start purchasing products to sell today, right after you watch this video. There is no PPC or advertising required whatsoever because all the goods are name branded products and they already are selling every single day on Amazon.com. When we're doing our product research, we also know how many times per month these items sell, how many different sellers are on average selling the item, and how many units we think on average we could move per month before selling it or even purchasing the product at all. With this model, you don't really have much control in terms of your supply chain because these online retailers go in and out of stock all the time. They also can cancel your orders, prices can change, but you also could return the items if they don't sell. So there is low risk with this model. You can start out with dozens of different items. You could start out with low quantities of items and really just kind of get your feet wet with Amazon and learn how the platform works before going too deep into inventory. Private label, on the other hand, is basically a model where you're building a brand and creating your own listing on Amazon.com. You're competing with other sellers that sell their own branded product in the same niche. For example, paper towel holder or utensil holders, organizers, stuff like that. What people will do is they'll find items that are selling that they think there's low competition in. They'll then go to Alibaba, source the item for a really cheap price from China, brand it with their own branding and packaging so that way it looks really nice, and then send those items to Amazon FBA directly. With this model, you're building out your own listing, so there is nobody else that could sell your product. However, you have to start from scratch. So there's no sales history, there's no Keepa charts, you don't know how many items you're gonna move, and you're not gonna be able to make any sales until you actually start running PPC ads, sponsored ads, and start pushing marketing to your product because there is nobody actually selling it, and nobody knows it exists until you actually start selling it and bringing people to your listing. With this model, there is a lot more risk because you're putting all your eggs in one basket by kind of going all in with one product and your brand. There is a lot more upside potential because you actually could sell this model, sell this brand or business to somebody and exit in the long run, compared to with OA, you're really just reselling. But it is a lot harder to start, and if you can't tell, all of these things you have to do are a lot harder skills to learn, especially if you know nothing about Amazon.com before. For somebody that knows what they're doing, it's a lot easier to switch from OA or wholesale to private label, or add in a private label brand while you're already doing those other models as another thing. But if you go right into private label off the bat and you know nothing about Amazon.com, it's super hard because not only do you have to learn how to build a listing, you have to figure out what product you want to sell, purchase a lot of quantity of that product, go back and forth with the manufacturer, get test samples sent in, send directly from Alibaba or from China to Amazon FBA. And then also the whole marketing piece of things where you have to start running advertising to your product before it actually starts selling. You could send in 1,000 units of a product, spend $5,000 on one item and not be able to sell any, or have an issue with your UPC or something like that. So I think this model should be something that's reserved for people that have a little bit more money, more experience with Amazon, and actually know what they're doing on the platform before they start to dive into this advertising piece, because it's a lot harder to get started with that when you know nothing about e-commerce or sales or Amazon at all, and you have to learn all of these things in one before you could start to generate any revenue and spend a ton of money. So I hope this clears things up, and if I had to make a recommendation, I would recommend to start with OA, start with wholesale, start with RA, get your feet wet, make some money, get some traction, and then start working on private label when you have some traction, cash flow, and then you actually are willing to invest in a product on the side and start building that out for the long term. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and thank you for your business.